Hello and welcome. This is Eagle Eye 621, and today we're going to be building a cow farm. This will get you your raw beef, your steak, as well as leather. And what you see on either side, to the right is the narrower, simpler version, and to the left is a stretched out version in case you want to have a higher producing farm. We're going to be building the one on the right today, but first let me show you how this works. You have your cows up top, which are your breeding cows. They are standing on a trapdoor, and the babies fall underneath. So when you come up here, make sure you have some of your wheat in order to feed them. And this does obviously work in survival. You click this button right here. Now what this button does is it spits out water, so you can just hold down the right click in order to feed them. You'll see it also spits out an item on the side, which is going to be our timer. And then once they stop taking any wheat, we can click this button again to drop them. And as you can see, a timer has started. That is a despawn timer, so an item will last in your world 5 minutes, and as long as it's there, it's powering that pressure plate and powering this light, so you'll know when you can feed these cows again when this light turned off. The baby cows fell down here, and now you have an automatic cooking option as well as a looting sword option. The cooking option is right here. You just click on this button. It'll spit out a lava blade, which will kill all of the adult cows. As you can see, the baby cows are still fine, and as long as I'm holding that, they'll all stare at me. That vine there is to prevent some entity cramming. You could, however, come in here and swipe away with a looting sword. Just be aware that while you're swiping away with a looting sword, you would also kill all the babies, and the babies don't drop anything. So if you've gone away for a while, you can use your looting sword to get just that extra little bit of food and leather, and if not, you can use that lava blade and it will kill only the adults and still give time for the babies to grow up. So let's build it, and to build it, these are the supplies you're going to need. You're going to want to have a double chest with a hopper. You're going to want 21 glass. Now this doesn't have to be glass, but I do like to see what's going on. You're going to need a half slab of some sort, as well as a trapdoor. You're going to want a fence and a vine, 2 buttons, an observer, 2 dispensers. One of them is going to be holding a bucket of lava, and the other one is going to be holding a water bucket. And this is sort of your optional clock circuit that will tell you exactly how long until you can breed your cows again. For that, you're going to need to add an extra 2 smooth stone with another dropper. 4 more glass. Again, this can be any block you want, but it does have to be a solid block. Your redstone lamp and your pressure plate. And then you are going to need some sort of a junk item, because this does work by spitting an item onto the pressure plate and waiting for it to despawn. So I also have those items in my inventory. And let's get started. You want to start by picking a spot and dig into the ground and put down your double chest. Then take your hopper and put it down. Now behind your hopper, you're going to want to grab some of this glass, and you are going to want to start building up. Now you're going to build up 1 block here, and then you're going to put your first dispenser, and then 1 more block, and then your second dispenser. And on this block, you're going to want to add your trapdoor. You're going to want to make it such that it opens like this towards the top, and this will help you breed your cows when you first get them in. And then we can put another glass block up here, and then we're going to want to come up the sides as well. And we're also going to want to come up the other side. And we don't want to put our fence gate on there yet, because even though it will go in there eventually, we need to get our cows in first. So we're going to need to put a temporary block right there in order to put our top half slab. And then we're going to fill this front up here with glass. Now, as you can see, we can put in our circuit over here for the timer, and that's by attaching a smooth stone block over here. we can put in our observer, and it's important to make sure the observer is facing away. And we can put our button on the observer. Now we want to do that before we put the lava in. And the reason this works is because the observer will click twice, once when you press the button and once when the button is released. And then we can put our bucket of lava in there. Now attached to this, we can put our dropper. And our dropper faces this way. We're going to need a solid block under that. And then we can surround that with some glass. And inside we're going to put our pressure plate. Now we want to fill this with junk items. So these are items that you don't care get despawned. And we're also going to put a block on top to make sure whatever block it spits out is going to land there. And then we want to put our button on this block, which will power both this, which is now okay to put the water in, as well as this, which already has its item to start the clock. And then you just need to get your cows in there. Now your adult cows will sit on this block. This is going to be the most annoying part, is to get your cows. You have to lure them in with some wheat, but the reason you want to have this here is because that way, when you are getting your 2 cows in there originally, you can breed them up and the babies won't fall down because this is still closed. So once you have enough of your cows in there, and it's okay if some of them die from entity cramming, because that's just how you sort of figure out the correct number to be in this farm. You can see we have too many already. We're going to put our fence over the top of it, and this just prevents them from escaping when you activate the water. And down here we can add our vine, and this will prevent entity cramming from the baby cows as they're growing up. And then already the farm is done. Now you'll see when you do feed them, do be sure to close this so that the babies will fall. And a couple of little escaped babies from the spawn eggs, that's okay. You will get some initial entity cramming when you do the first feeding, because it is too many entities to be in this when you do have the babies. That's okay, it'll all equalize itself out. So you can click the button, and that of course activated the, I forgot one thing. That will activate the redstone lamp, which you attach to this solid block here, and then you can go ahead and just start feeding the cows. As they bob up and down. Now to make this a little bit safer, and I do have this included in the total numbers, you can fill in these corners, although that is optional, and just feed them, and when you're done, the babies will drop out the bottom. And these were from the escaped, they didn't go out there. And you can see that the timer has started, and 5 minutes from now that item will despawn. This light will turn back off, and you can feed them again. Now if you are going to use your sword, I do highly recommend you go for one of these perfect swords. The looting 3 is a must, that's why you're doing it, and your fire aspect will cook them, where you can leave the fire aspect off if you're just going to want the raw beef. If you found this helpful, I would appreciate a like, and for more videos like this, be sure to subscribe. Thanks for stopping by.